Do you or your child have an underbite? That's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I had a patient come in. Doc, I want to know what I can do about my bite. I've got an underbite. Tell me what my options are. Well, first off, this is what we mean by underbite, okay? Top teeth, generally speaking, should be in front of your bottom teeth. We don't want excessive like this. That would be what people call overbite. We call overjet. And then this, when your top teeth are behind your bottom teeth, that's an underbite, okay? Little bulldog action, yeah? So, underbite. Generally speaking, there is no bite. There's no open bite. There's no underbite. There's no overbite, right? Or even a perfect bite that will eliminate all issues with your TMJs, or that will keep your teeth from breaking down faster, or any type of bite that always leads to problems. Generally speaking, though, we still think the theoretical ideal of the class 1 is the best. Minimal overjet, minimal overbite, nothing open, all right? No cross bites. The underbite, that's what it is. Why does it happen? Well, we feel like part of it could be one of three things. One is that the top jaw, when it's growing down and forward, actually doesn't grow down enough. And so you have normal growth here, but this one doesn't grow down enough, and you end up with an underbite. So it's a hypoplastic maxilla. The other is when the lower jaw, actually the normal jaw, everything's growing down, and then the lower jaw is just like grows a lot, all right? Prognathism, mandibular prognathism, hyperplastic, right? It grows more. Or the third option is some combination. Is like the top one doesn't grow down enough and the bottom one grows a little bit excessively, and so you end up with, you know, what we call an underbite. When's the best time to treat something like this? Well, it's tricky. If the main cause is the top jaw not coming down enough, right? Between the ages of 6 and 8 is a time when we use the traditional approach, which is the reverse pull headgear. You can check out, I did a React video, 2 gals that had the reverse pull headgear. In my opinion, they were probably too old to actually have any impact on the maxilla, the top jawbone. You probably can use that device to move teeth around a little bit, but to have real good effects or to have more predictable effects on the bones, right, the upper jawbone with that reverse pull headgear, probably between the ages of 6 and 8. Everybody's a little bit different. Go see an orthodontist. You got an underbite like this, want to check it out. Sometimes, by the way, little caveat here, sometimes kiddos, when their permanent teeth are coming in, they get in out of position and they don't like when they hit their teeth like this. And so they push forward a little bit. So that's not like a real underbite. It's a traumatic occlusion with the shift. I've made a video about that too. So 6 and 8, reverse pull headgear. And what it's doing is you're trying to get the upper jawbone, instead of headgear pushing your upper jawbone back, holding it back so your lower jaw can come forward, we're trying to pull your lower jaw down and forward to get into a positive overjet. So you get rid of the underbite. Well, there's a new technique that's come out for underbites that doesn't have to be treated between 6 and 8, but it's a little bit more complex, a little more invasive. Instead of just hooking onto the teeth and your head, you're hooking into your bones, all right? You're hooking into your bones with screws, so it's a little bit of surgery on the top and on the bottom. And you're doing the same movements, you're using rubber bands, as you do with the reverse pull headgear, except everything is attached to your bones instead of just your teeth. This is called bone-anchored maxillary protraction, all right? This is your maxilla. Protraction is coming forward, and bone anchored, meaning that you've got screws that are hooked up in the top on the back. You probably find a video of this, and the bottom on the front, and then you hook your rubber bands on towards the front. Those of you who had braces that with an underbite, you know, you kind of probably use those rubber bands too, but in this case, you're hooked onto the bones. The research suggests a good age to try and attempt this is between 10 and 14. So because you're hooked onto the bones in a more direct way, you can wait a little bit longer before you do it. But if you go too far, like you get, you know, really old, I say really old, like 15, 16, 17, not that it's impossible, just less predictable that you could actually get bone changes, again, because you're done growing, right? You mostly finish your growth. Okay, now, that being said, you could try those two things, and even then, it's still not a guarantee that you won't need the S word. Yep, surgery, okay? Doing that work where you pull from 6 to 8, you pull it forward, or with the bone anchored, you pull it forward. Let's say you get it into the right spot. There's still a chance, if you're one of those, what we call a bad grower, okay? That means your lower jaw is hyperplastic or very prognathic. When you go through your major growth spurt, and even for boys into late teens, early 20s, that jaw can still grow forward. So any good work that you do can be undone by additional growth. It's hard to know for sure if you're going to be one of those growers. You can check with your family history. Sometimes there are individuals in your generations before that have had, you know, walk around like this, or they've had this surgery. You might have something like that. So I had somebody walk in today to the clinic. Or you can't just walk in the clinic, by the way. Don't show up and just walk into the clinic. Call, schedule a consult. I had somebody come in for a consult today. Hey, what do I do about this underbite? Like I said, well, let me show you the underbite. All right, so here is your your upper jawbone. Can you see it? Here's your upper jawbone. It comes to the front right here. And then here is your lower jawbone. In this case, maybe you could argue that our upper jawbone is a little bit back, but when you look at our lower jawbone, it is very obvious that this lower jawbone is quite large. It's excessive in its growth. And now the top teeth right here and the bottom teeth right here. Okay, this is not one of those traumatic occlusions where you hit in the front, like your front teeth hit and then you slide forward. It's nothing like that. This guy cannot get his lower jaw back at all. That's as far as it's gonna get. So the question is, what can you do about this? Could this have been fixed early, even with the bone anchors? Hard to know for sure. That much growth forward, any of the good work that you did earlier may have been undone. Not that you shouldn't try it earlier, just it's one of those risks when you have an underbite. So for those of you out there who are like, I'm seeing these devices online, like sleepo brace, smile brace, whatever it is, those are just ones that I'm aware of, right? They can fix your bites and straighten your teeth, and you know what? They can put pressure on your teeth for sure. Question is what can they actually do? What can they help you accomplish? If you're an adult, like this patient here, if you're trying to do one of those devices to fix this, is not gonna work, okay? This is a surgical case. The only predictable way to get your bones together is through surgery. You're an adult now. Bones don't change that significantly with devices like that, even if you're really consistent. They just don't. So don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Go see an orthodontist. If it really bothers you, like this type of condition, right? It's not going to kill you. Not likely. You can still eat, maybe not as well. You can still function in society. Maybe you feel like you can't do that as well. But the reality is you can survive. Is life worth just surviving? That's for you and your provider to decide. You, an oral surgeon, maybe an ENT, orthodontist, get together, discuss what are our options to get our bones into a more harmonious relationship. Could be a lot of work, a lot of time, and even a lot of money, but might be worth it for you. I hope this helps. If you know somebody with an underbite, share this video with them. Better yet, come find us. Schedule a visit so that we can talk to you and open your eyes to the wonderful world of straight teeth and beautiful bites. That's all I've got, just a little PFO, and so you know where you're going. Packard out.